Hey, welcome to Plants Are My Therapy, and today I'm going to teach you how to make your pothos look a little fuller, or in other words, fix the bald spot on top of your pothos. Today is also sort of a update video on the pothos that I propagated 2 weeks ago. These are the two pothos that I propagated a couple weeks ago. And the rest of these are my other pothos. This is my marble queen. This is my favorite pothos. It's growing well and it's growing faster than it ever did. And I didn't really do anything. I don't think I even fertilized it. I figured out where to place it in the house to have the leaves turn this variegated. I like these soft watercolor colors to this leaves, because if you put it in harsh sun, then the variegation gets harsh like these few leaves. But this is why I fell in love with this plant. This is a pothos plant. This is a golden pothos. I bought this pot because it fits perfectly in this vase. I have some blue cobalt vases that are in my pass-through between my kitchen and my great room, and that works perfectly. And this is my, I don't really care enough to know if it's the Enjoy or the Jade and Pearl, because they look so similar. The Jade and Pearl is supposed to be a hybrid of the Enjoy and the Marble Queen, and it's supposed to have this variegation, so I suppose this is the Jade and Pearl, but then I've seen variegations on the Enjoys too. And this is the mother plant of all my golden pothos. I've been giving her a little bit more sun, so she's been getting a little bit more variegated. And I'm sitting on top, I have her sitting on top this candle holder that I bought for maybe a couple dollars from Goodwill or Salvation Army, and it works perfectly. Anyway, these are my pothos. For a quick recap, a few weeks ago I propagated a few plants, and a few of those plants were pothos plants. I had a few cuttings started in water for a couple of weeks, and I took the best of those cuttings and potted them in soil. I topped up this now soil propagation with gravel because I was going to keep these plants outside under the bright indirect light so they will grow more vigorously. I used the gravel because I wasn't going to use a little watering can to water these plants. Since I have a lot of plants, I used the hose, and I didn't want to hose loose these cuttings. This is 2 days later, and already you can see why the top of my plant has a bald spot. The gravel, which I used to secure the plant, well, is making a bald spot, but the rest of the plant is thriving. In just 2 days, all the leaves turned upright and the plant looks healthy. This is the same plant about 2 weeks after I first propagated it, and it looks great. I removed this gravel on the top because the roots have already set this plant, so this plant is already stable, but there's still a bald spot. And check out this. These were spares, little scraps of pothos that I just stuck inside a Starbucks cup, and I just left it under the table outside in indirect light, and it looks great. It just took off. This is going to be the donor plant. This plant is the daughter of the mother plant, and it has grown more vigorously because its position in the house has more brighter indirect light. Before I start the process, I'm going to assess the plant, and it looks like all of the cuttings are doing well except for one. I'm trying to pull on it, and it does feel like it has roots, but it doesn't look that great, so I'm just going to trim it back so it'll have a chance to sprout out branches lower, and that will also make the top of the plant more fuller. I'm going to select a healthy sample from the donor plant, and I'm going to propagate the top of my bald or thinned pothos with leaf clippings, and this will immediately change the appearance of the plant, and it's going to look really good. And this is not temporary. All of these leaf clippings will sprout new vines, which will make this plant even fuller. I'm only going to use plain potting soil to propagate these leaf clippings. Once these leaf clippings start growing and start sprouting out new plants, they can reach down to the faster and quicker draining soil. The idea right now is to position these leaves to aesthetically make this plant look nicer. But this is not just aesthetic. It's going to eventually grow new plants, and this plant will be fuller. When I'm through, to keep these leaf cuttings in place, I'm going to use sand to stabilize these clippings so they'll have time to take root and grow. I don't need to use gravel because these leaves are much shorter than the long clippings that I originally propagated, and which led to the bald spot on top of this plant. The sand will be an easier pathway for the new plants to grow through once the leaf clippings start growing. Now I'm going to show you another way, which I think is an easier way, to propagate leaf clippings. Of course, you pick the most healthiest donor clippings that you can to get the best leaf clippings, and then you arrange them the nicest way you can in a little bouquet, just like this. Then you add another layer of potting soil to the top of your pot, and this is just plain potting soil. You sort of pat it down and make a little well where you're going to stick your bouquet of leaves, and then you do your best to secure it. Eventually these leaves also will grow new plants, and it's going to make this pot or recycled Starbucks cup even more nice. I mean, this plant, this throwaway clippings looks nice as it is, and these throwaway clippings are just 2 weeks old. Can you imagine 2 weeks from now? This plant is going to look really good. And this is the finished product. These two plants immediately looks more fuller on top, and once these leaf cuttings developed new plants, new vines, it's really going to be more full and more lush. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you were able to pick up tips through my trials and errors, and I hope you liked this video. Please like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or you just want to say hi, please comment below. It's really encouraging. Thank you again for watching this video. Aloha.